Okay, dear students, good morning. Is it audible and visibility is there? PPT. Hello. Students. Okay, now we can start. Good morning, students. In today's class, the major topic is single source shortest paths using general weights. This is our topic. So, major topic of our topic, that is, it is in the dynamic programming chapter. This is chapter 4. Now we want to discuss what is single source shortest path problem. Already we discussed about single source shortest path problem in distress algorithm. In that particular algorithm, we calculated the shortest paths from source vertex to every other vertex or each vertex in the graph. So by using dynamic programming technique also, we can calculate the single source shortest paths. Now see, already the topics covered in our dynamic programming are what is dynamic programming, what is the definition, and the difference between the greedy and dynamic programming, or divide and conquer and dynamic programming, and the applications of dynamic programming, the general algorithm of dynamic programming, the steps in the dynamic programming. So all these things are already explained to you. And all pairs shortest path problem, Freud's algorithm, is also explained in the previous class. Now, our present topic is single source shortest paths using general weights. Okay. Now see, we have dynamic programming. Just recall what is a dynamic programming. Dynamic programming is an algorithmic technique for solving an optimization problem by breaking it down into simpler subproblems and utilizing the fact that the optimal solution to the overall problem depends upon the optimal solution to its subproblems. So in dynamic programming, it is an algorithmic technique. We have different algorithmic techniques like divide and conquer, greedy algorithm. So in the same way, we have the dynamic programming technique. What type of technique this one? Optimization problem solving. What is a optimization problem? Maximizing the value or minimizing the value. So we are dividing the problem into number of subproblems. So we are finding the optimal solution to the overall problem, which depends on the optimal solutions of subproblems. So subproblems, optimal solutions we will get. So based on that, we can find the optimal solution of original problem or the overall problem. So the dynamic programming property, what is the property of dynamic programming? Is an algorithmic design method that can be used when the solution to a problem may be viewed as the result of a sequence of decisions. So the solution to the problem is as a result of the sequence of decisions. Whatever decisions, each and every step we are taking, based on that, we have the solution. So we are considering as a sequence of steps, and at each step, we are finding the optimal solution. So in this way, finally, you can find the optimal solution to the original problem. Now, what is the overview of our class topics? We are discussing the single source shortest path problem. In that overview, in our class, the topics is the shortest path problem. What is shortest path problem? What are the differences in the distress algorithm and our algorithm, that is Bellman-Ford algorithm? Since we have two major important algorithms in our shortest path finding, first one is Bellman's algorithm, Bellman-Ford algorithm. Another one is distress algorithm. Already explained the distress algorithm for finding the optimal solution. In this case, we will discuss about Bellman-Ford algorithm. So we will see the differences between these two. That is differences. And the third topic is actual Bellman-Ford algorithm. And the fourth topic is what is the time complexity of this Bellman-Ford algorithm to find the shortest path. Okay. Now see the first point, first topic, shortest path problem. Single source, shortest path problem. What is single source? Single means one. Source, we are taking the source vertex. Shortest path, we are finding the shortest path to each and every vertex, every other vertex from the source vertex. So the single source shortest path algorithm for an arbitrary weight, positive or negative. Maybe weight may be positive or weight may be negative is also known as Bellman-Ford algorithm is used to find minimum distance from source vertex from source vertex to any other vertex to any other vertex. The main difference between this algorithm with the Distrust's algorithm is in Distrust's algorithm we cannot handle the negative weight, but here we can handle it easily. So what is the meaning of this one? We have the Bellman-Ford algorithm and the one is Distrust algorithm. Two algorithms for single source shortest path algorithms for finding the single source shortest path problem solution. So in these two algorithms, we have Distrust algorithm cannot handle edge weights, negative weights. That is -5, -2 like this. For negative values, negative weights, we cannot handle. Whereas the Bellman-Ford algorithm can handle the negative weights. Now see, negative link weight. The Bellman-Ford algorithm works to find the shortest path, whereas Distrust algorithm does not handle negative weights. It will not give the correct result. Now, distributed implementation. The Bellman-Ford algorithm can be easily implemented in a distributed way, whereas Distrust algorithm cannot be implemented in a distributed way. Next one, time complexity. Check the time complexity. Bellman-Ford algorithm and Distrust algorithm. Distrust algorithm time complexity already explained. So Bellman-Ford algorithm and Distrust algorithm, when you compare, Distrust algorithm takes less time, whereas Bellman-Ford algorithm takes more time. Now, see the differences Bellman-Ford algorithm and Distrust algorithm and operations common in both algorithms. So, Bellman-Ford algorithm, negative weights are allowed. For negative weight edges, it will be it will give the correct result. Whereas negative cycles, that means when you consider a cycle in a graph, if you take the sum of the weights of all the edges of that particular cycle, then if you get the negative value, then that is a negative cycle. So reachable from the source are not allowed. That means for negative cycles, we can't find the shortest path algorithm. Distrust algorithm, in case of distrust algorithm, negative weights are not allowed. No, not allowed negative weights. So these are the differences of distrust algorithm and Bellman-Ford algorithm. Next, when you consider operations common in both algorithms, so either in Distra or in Bellman-Ford, the operations, common operations are initialization of the vertices, initialization of the values at the vertices, and the one is relaxation of edges. These two are the common operations in both this distrust algorithm and Bellman-Ford algorithm. Now see that distrust algorithm. What about distrust? On suppose check the edge C to D, that is a -10. When you apply distrust algorithm on this one, on this graph, then you will not get the correct result. So distrust algorithm only works for positive edge weights. Only we need to consider graph with positive edges. So our algorithm that is single source shortest path problem, can be solved by our Bellman-Ford shortest path algorithm. So Bellman-Ford are the two scientists. Bellman is one person and Ford is another person. They together, that is Bellman and Ford together, they developed the algorithm, that is shortest path algorithm. So what are the conditions of this Bellman-Ford algorithm? So this algorithm works correctly when some of the edges of the directed graph G may have negative weight. Even though negative weight, then the Bellman-Ford algorithm can work. When there are no cycles of negative weight, when there are no cycles of negative weight, no cycles of negative weight means negative weight cycle is not allowed. In the case of Bellman-Ford algorithm or any algorithm, we can't find the shortest distance. Then we can find out the shortest path between source and a destination. No cycles of negative weight. If there are cycles with negative weight, we can't find. If there are no cycles with negative weight, then we can find. So this algorithm detects the negative cycle in a graph and reports their existence. So by using the Bellman-Ford algorithm, we can find the negative cycle existed in the graph. So what are the concept of these cycles? Can shortest paths contain cycles? No, that is not allowed. Negative weight cycles, shortest path is not well defined for negative weight cycles. Positive weight cycles, by removing the cycle, we can remove that particular cycle, we can get a shorter path. You can find easily the shorter path. Zero weight cycles, no reason to use them. Can remove them to obtain a path with the same weight. That means even though zero weight, no use, we can remove that particular zero weight cycle, that particular cycle, we can easily find the shortest path. So how to detect the negative cycles in a graph? Suppose there is a graph, we want to find the negative cycles. See, actually in our Bellman-Ford algorithm, we want to repeat the algorithm v minus 1 times. We need to repeat the algorithm v minus 1 times. That means number of vertices minus 1 times. That many number of iterations, number of vertices minus 1 number of iterations we have to perform. So after v minus 1 iterations, if we conduct another extra test, another repetition of this algorithm on the graph, then we can easily find the negative cycle in the graph. See here, this is the graph given. This is the graph given. In this graph, check the weights from S to B, vertex S to vertex B, where the weight 2. From vertex B to C, weight 3. Vertex C to S, weight is minus 8. Now sum all the weights. 2 plus 3, 5. 5 minus 8, minus 3. So minus 3 means that is a negative cycle. Negative cycle. So this is a cycle. We can move from S to B, B to C, C to S. That is a cycle. In this cycle, if you sum all the edges, weights, all the weights of edges, then you got the value minus 3. Got the value minus 3. this is a negative weight cycle. If you got the negative value, then it is a negative weight cycle. See here, these steps, this fragment of the algorithm, for each edge u comma v belongs to e, belongs to set of edges for each edge. Do if d of v is greater than d of u plus w of u comma v, then return false. What is the meaning of this one? If d of v is greater than d of u plus w of u comma v, d of u is a value at the vertex u, some vertex. W of u comma v is the weight of the edge uv. Now value at some vertex plus the weight of that particular edge from that vertex to v. Compare this value with the weight of the vertex v, that is the value, distance value at v, vertex v. So d of v is greater than d of u plus w of u comma v. If this condition is satisfied, then return false. Return false means that is a cycle. Else return true. See this example. So S to B, one edge. B to C, another edge. C to S, another edge. Three edges are there in the graph. Suppose after performing the first update, relaxation. So S to B, S at S is the source vertex. D of S is 0. Distance of S is 0 since it is a source vertex. Now D of S is 0, then D of B is infinity. Now when you consider S to B edge, so this is 0 plus 2. 0 plus 2 is 2. 2 is less than infinity. 2 is less than infinity means you can update the D of B, the value at B as 2. And see here, now this one, this is 3, this is minus 8. Initially it is infinity. Now see the second pass. In the first pass we have the 2, value 2. 0 plus 2, that is equal to 2. 2 is placed here in the vertex, and already infinity is there. 2 is less than infinity, so you can place 2. The shorter value or the minimum value you can place. Now consider B to C edge from vertex B to vertex C. What is the updation at C? So 2 plus 3. 2 plus 3. Value at B is, that is d of u is equal to 2, and value at BC is the edge labeled with 3. So 2 plus 3, that is 5. 5 is less than infinity. Already value is there. So 5 is less than infinity means you need to consider the minimum value, that is 5. So when you update at C, it is 5. Okay, it is 5. You got 5 now. Now 5 minus 8. What is the value of 5 minus 8? Minus 3. 5 minus 8 is minus 3. So check here. 0 is there. So minus 3 is smaller. So put minus 3 here. So this is the first pass. Now see the second pass. Now see the second pass. In the second pass, again update from S to B, B to C, C to S, S to B, from vertex S to vertex B. Update. This is minus 3. This is 2. You will get minus 1. Minus 3 plus 2 minus 1. Here 2 is there. So you need to update at B. That is minus 1. You got minus 1 now see. Now from minus 1, Here it is there. Now update BC, update vertex C, that is BC we have. At B, -1 is there. BC edge 3 is there. So -1 plus 3, 2. The here 5 is there. So 2 and 5 you compare. The minimum value is 2. So take 2, place 2 here. That is at C. It should be 2. Now change it to 2. Now check here. C2S. Edge C comma S. At C, 2 is there. Weight is -8. 2 minus 8. What is the value? -4. This is 2. This is -8. -4. Already -3 is there. So 2 minus 8, that is -6. Okay, -6. 2 minus 8 is -6. Already -3 is there. -3 and -6 you compare. Minimum value is -6. You can write -6 here. So 2 passes are completed. Now look at edge S comma B. Now what is D of B? D of B, distance of B. The value is -1. See in the second pass figure. Now what is the D of S plus W of S comma B? D of S plus W of S comma B. That meaning is -6 plus 2. What is -6 plus 2? -4. At B now what is the value? -4 comma -1 minimum value of -4 and -1. Already -1 is there. We have taken -6 plus 2, -4. Now compare -4 and -1. The minimum value is -4. So now observe this one. You got the -4 value at B. Since after 2 passes, it should not be changed. But here the value at B is changed. That means, then what is the meaning of this one? There is a cycle. Since do if D of B is greater than D of U plus W of U comma V, this condition is satisfied. Since already -1 is there, but you got -6 plus 2, -4, -4 less than -1, or -1 is greater than -4, then in that case, it returns false. So after 2 tests, at the third test, you need not perform. It should not change the value. But at third test, the value is changed to -4. That is why it returns false. So if it is false, then there is a negative cycle. So negative cycle, in this way you can detect by using the Bellman-Ford shortest path algorithm. Okay. Now see the actual algorithm in simple English sentences for easy understanding. List down, see the first step, list down all the edges of the graph. In a graph, we have the edges and vertices. So we should consider the list of edges. List of edges. This can be done easily if the graph is represented by an adjacency list. Adjacency list. Now, second step, calculate the number of iterations with v minus 1. So we need to consider the number of iterations in the for loop as that is v minus 1. V minus 1 means number of vertices in the graph minus 1. Since in the previous example, we have 3 vertices. 3 vertices, SO, B, C. 3 vertices are there. So that means how many times you need to repeat? 2 times. Since number of vertices minus 1. 3 minus 1, that is 2. So you need to repeat 2 times. So depending on the number of vertices, you need to repeat the iterations, are the number of times you need to repeat, that is depends on. So the number of iterations will be equal to the number of vertices, because the shortest distance to an edge can be adjusted, that is v minus 1 times at maximum. Now start in the third step, start with an arbitrary vertex. Take some arbitrary vertex, and assign it the minimum distance of 0. For this vertex, you can assign the 0, since that is the source vertex. The distance from source vertex to source vertex, that is 0, same vertex. So all other nodes should be assigned infinity, since we are exaggerating the actual distances. So remaining nodes in the graph are assigned with infinity. So source vertex 0, the distance is 0. Whereas from source vertex to remaining other vertices in the graph, we are taking it as a infinity. Infinity means here we are taking the larger distances and assuming that one. So in each next fourth step, in each iteration, update the distance for each edge. If the new distance is smaller than the one assigned before, the distance to each node will be the cumulative distance from the starting node to this particular node. We are taking the cumulative distance and we are updating the distances for each edge. We need to consider all the iterations, all repetitions or all iterations to make sure that all possible paths are considered. If we do this, we will end up with the shortest distance. Finally, we will find the shortest distance. This is a simple and easy way of understanding the Bellman-Ford algorithm. So, in the what is the first step? Just see what is the first step. First, you are writing the all the edges of the graph. What is the second step? See, in the first step, you can assign, okay. Next, we are repeating the v minus 1 times. Same algorithm. In the third step, start with an arbitrary vertex, source vertex, and take the distance is 0 at source vertex, and all other remaining vertices, it is infinity. At the fourth step, update the distances for each edge. Okay. Now see the Bellman-Ford algorithm example. So this is the graph given. We want to find the shortest path from source vertex S to all other remaining vertices. Okay, we have the S. How many vertices are there in the graph? How many number of times we need to iterate the for loop? That means those particular statements in the algorithm. So number of times we need to update our number of iterations are v minus 1. Total number of vertices are here 5. So 5 minus 1, 4 times we need to iterate. So source vertex is 0 and the remaining all the other vertices are with infinity. See here we are using the infinity. Infinity indicates larger distance. Now see the example how this algorithm changes the values at each vertex, updates the values at each vertex. So we are doing the initialization and relaxation. So at the initialization case, source vertex is assigned with 0 and all other remaining vertices are assigned with infinity. So all the vertices in the graph we are initializing. So the time taken for initializing is the total number of vertices in the graph. Okay, now see the after initialization step, after pass 1, we are applying the iterations. First pass, we are relaxing the applying the relaxations or updations. See, we have 0 vertex. From 0 vertex to T, we are taking the initially some edges. Okay, from 0 it is a directed edge. You can take this one as 6, since 0 plus 6 is 6, that is less than infinity. So we can take at the vertex T 6. 0 to y, s to y, vertex s to vertex y. The distance is 7, weight is 7. 7 plus 0, that is less than infinity. So you can take 7 here. Now see the order of edges examined in each pass. T comma x, we are taking the T comma x, T comma z. You can take T comma z, x comma T, x comma T. Okay, x is this one, T is this one, x comma T. Okay, y comma x, y to x, this is y to T, y to T, this one, y to z, z to x, y to z, z to x, z to s, s to T, z, this one, to s, this one, there is an edge, s to T, s to, this one is a s, s to T, you can take s to y. Okay, now see the pass 2. In pass 2, we have 0 is the vertex. Okay, 6 already updated these two, T and Y. Now T2, T2 Z, from vertex T to vertex Z. See, T2 Z, here 6 is the value, minus 4. This is 2. Here infinity is there. So change it to 2. In the same way, now from vertex Y to vertex X, 7 minus 3, 7 minus 3, 4. The value is at 4. Now X value is 4. So we have taken red color since these are the main edges. After updation, these are the shortest distance edges. Now see the after pass 3, we have what edge from X to T. X to T, there is an edge. Now at X, 4 is there. At T, 2 is there. 6 is there here before updation. Now 4 minus 2, that is 2. Here already 6 is there. 2 is less than 6. Compare 2 and 6. Minimum is 2. Minimum value we are taking. That is 2 comma x. So in this way, we can update the edges. See, there is a formula. The formula is, according to formula, when you are updating, for example, x and t, x to t edge, you need to check what is the value at x, 4, and what is the edge weight, that is minus 2. Then what is the value 4 minus 2, that is 2. Okay, what is the value at t already 6, and you need to take the minimum of 6 and 2, that is 2. So at t vertex, we have the value 2. In this way, you can consider. Suppose instead of nil, we have written yes. Yes means source vertex. That is previous vertex. We are writing after comma. After comma, we are writing the previous vertex. Suppose at the third pass, after third pass, we have written x. That means we are taking the edge x to t is considered. That is why the previous vertex of t is x. Okay, see the next diagram after pass 4. Since we are taking we need 4 passes. Since number of vertices in the graph are 5. So 5 minus 1, 4. So 4 passes are needed. Okay, this is the initialization step for initializing each and every vertex with infinity. And pi of b that indicates the previous vertex initially nil. After updations, we can change with the previous vertex. So all the shortest path algorithms start with initialize source single source vertex. Initialize single source means we are initializing each and every vertex with infinity. And second part is nil. Now see the Bellman-Ford algorithm. So in the Bellman-Ford algorithm, we are taking the three parameters G the graph and W the weight and S is the source vertex. Now initialize single source G comma S. G is the graph and S is the source. So we are initializing all the vertices in the graph with infinity except source vertex. Now in the second step, we have the for loop. We are repeating these iterations or relaxations for each and every edge. So number of times repetitions is v minus 1. Total number of vertices minus 1. So 1 to v minus 1. For each edge, u comma v belongs to edge set. Total number of edges in the graph. So for each and every edge in the given graph, do relax UVW. Relax the edge u comma v and the weight is w. So for each vertex, v belongs to for each vertex, v belongs to u dot adjacent. That is each adjacent vertex of present vertex do. If d of v, that is distance of v, is greater than d of u plus u w of u comma v, so checking the we are checking the condition. If d of v is greater than d of u plus w of u comma v, w of u comma v is the uv edge weight and d of u is the weight at u. So d of v, distance at v, vertex v is greater than this value, then return false. There is negative cycle. Already explained the negative cycle detection in the previous slide. So now return true. If it is not there, then you can return true. So relaxation you can do by using the edge u comma v and weight w. So if d of v is greater than d of u plus w of u comma v, then d of v is equals to d of u plus w of u comma v. Since we are checking the minimum value d of v, the value at vertex v, and the value at vertex u plus weight of the edge uv, we are taking the sum d of u plus w of u comma v. Is it this value and d of v value, when you compare which one is the minimum, we will take the minimum value at the vertex v. So that is why d of v is equal to d of u plus w of u comma v. This is the minimum value we have taken at vertex v. Now parent of v, we can update the parent, that is u. uv is the edge we considered. So the parent of vertex v is u. So this is the algorithm you can consider. Now the next one is time complexity. What is time complexity of Bellman-Ford algorithm? Since we are initializing the single source function, so each and every vertex with infinity. So we are considering all the vertices in the graph. That is why a big O of modulus of b. That means the number of vertices in the graph. That is why we have taken for this initialized single source function, the time complexity is big O of number of vertices. Now we are repeating the number of b minus 1 times this for loop. So we are taking the number of edges, that is each and every edge we are updating, we are relaxing. So that is why it is big O of modulus of V into modulus of E. That is number of vertices multiplied by number of edges. Since we are relaxing each and every edge and we are repeating V minus 1 times, that is why we are taking the V into E. So now see the third step. For each vertex V belongs to U dot adjacent do. So this is for finding the negative cycle. For finding the negative cycle, we need to consider all the edges. So we are checking the edges values. That is d of v is greater than d of u plus w of u comma v after v minus one number of times. So that is why it is for number of edges. So big O of E. So finally, what is the time complexity of this Bellman-Ford algorithm? The time complexity is big O of V into E, number of vertices in the given graph multiplied by number of edges gives the time complexity of Bellman-Ford algorithm. So this is the Bellman-Ford algorithm. In this algorithm, initialize source vertex, initializing the vertices values with infinity and the previous vertex value as null. So this is initializing the all the distances. Now we are iterating over all edges and vertices and apply update rule. So initializing and updations. Updations is also called relaxations. So first we need to initialize, next update. This is the step. Check for negative cycles. So what are the three major overall steps of in the Bellman-Ford algorithm? Initialize the vertices. The second one is update the all the vertices. Third one is check for negative cycle. So uses of the Bellman-Ford algorithm. What is the advantage? What is the use of this algorithm? Finding negative weight cycles. We can detect the negative weight cycle. Explain with an example. Okay. Calculating the smallest possible heat gain or loss in a chemical reactions. When there are chemical reactions, heat gain of heat or loss of heat. We want to make it as smallest since minimization algorithm this one. So finding the most efficient way to convert the currencies from one currency to one country currency to another country's currency. So these are the uses of the Bellman-Ford algorithm. Okay, that's all. Dear students, if you have any doubt, you can send the message in the our chat box. Okay, thank you. Thank you for attending the class. Yes, anyone is having any doubts? Okay, thank you, students. The class is completed. You can leave now. Those who want to leave, they can leave now. If anyone is having any doubt, please send the message in the chat box.